You think your comfort zone is protecting you, but in reality, it's the silent thief of your life. It whispers to you every morning, stay here. Don't try. Don't risk. Don't change. And because it feels safe, you listen. But what you don't realize is that while you're sitting still, your dreams are moving further away. Everything you want is on the other side of fear, I've said before. And fear lies just beyond your comfort zone. The problem is, most people never cross that line. They stay locked in a prison that doesn't even have bars, a prison they've built with excuses, with procrastination, with fear of failure, and sometimes fear of success. Think about it. Maybe you've just gone through a breakup, and the pain feels unbearable. So instead of healing, instead of facing yourself, you hide in distractions, scrolling, drinking, pretending you're okay. It's easier than confronting the truth. That's comfort. Or maybe you've been stuck in the same job for years, knowing it's draining your soul, but you stay because it pays the bills. That's comfort. Or maybe you keep telling yourself, you'll start working out tomorrow, you'll write that book someday, you'll fix your life later. But later never comes. That's comfort too. The comfort zone feels safe because it avoids pain. But here's the paradox. By avoiding pain today, you guarantee regret tomorrow. And regret is a pain far heavier than failure ever could be. I remember when I first realized this truth in my own life. Before I ever became a monk, I was doing everything society told me to do: study hard, get a good job, make money. On the outside, I looked fine, but on the inside, I felt dead. My days were on repeat. My life was shrinking, not expanding. I was comfortable, but I wasn't alive. And that's when it hit me. If I don't step out of this comfort, I'll spend my whole life wondering what could have been. You can't be what you can't see, I often remind people. And if you never step beyond the walls of your comfort, you'll never see who you're meant to become. But here's the trap. Your comfort zone disguises itself as your friend. It convinces you that staying put means safety. It tells you that trying is too risky, that change is too hard, that failure is too painful. And so you keep shrinking your life into what feels manageable, even if it doesn't feel meaningful. Let me ask you, how many times have you stopped yourself because it was uncomfortable? How many opportunities did you let pass because you weren't ready? How many relationships did you stay in because leaving felt scarier than staying? Each time, your comfort zone celebrated, but your future mourned. And yet, the world outside your comfort is waiting. Growth doesn't happen in the safe zone. Healing doesn't happen in the safe zone. Breakthrough doesn't happen in the safe zone. You can't discover your strength in a place designed to keep you weak. Don't let your fear of what could happen make nothing happen. I tell those who are paralyzed by uncertainty, because comfort doesn't protect you from failure, it protects you from growth. And that is far worse. Imagine this: a lion locked in a golden cage. It has food, it has shelter, it has comfort. But deep inside, it knows it was never born for the cage. It was born for the wild. That's you. Your comfort zone may feed you just enough to survive, but it will never let you thrive. The scariest part: time keeps moving while you stay stuck. You think you're standing still, but the world is passing you by. Days become weeks, weeks become years, and before you know it, your life is overrun by the one thing you thought you were escaping: regret. So here's the truth you need to face. The comfort zone isn't protecting you. It's robbing you. It's stealing your courage, your potential, your future. And the longer you stay, the harder it is to leave. But here's the good news: you can step out at any moment. You can break free, You can take the risk. You can choose discomfort. Because discomfort is where life begins. Discomfort is where growth is born. Discomfort is where you finally meet the version of yourself you've been searching for. Comfort zones. If you live in one too long, it becomes your coffin, I've said. And it's true. If you don't rise, you'll rot. If you don't stretch, you'll shrink. If you don't face discomfort, you'll never face your destiny. So I want you to pause and be honest with yourself. Where is your comfort zone holding you hostage right now? Is it in love? In your career dreams? In your healing? Identify it. Name it. Because awareness is the first crack in the wall. And then ask yourself this: do you want the temporary ease of staying safe? Or do you want the eternal peace of knowing you gave life everything? Because you can't have both. You must choose. And this choice, the choice to step beyond what feels safe, is the most important decision you'll ever make. Because once you step out, you'll see something extraordinary. You'll see that what you thought was safety was actually a trap. You'll see that the fear you've been avoiding was actually the key to your freedom. And if that sounds impossible, wait until you understand the next truth. The comfort zone isn't just a prison, it's an illusion. And what looks safe now may actually be the most dangerous place of all. Your comfort zone tricks you. It wraps itself around you like a blanket on a cold night, whispering that you're safe here, that nothing can hurt you if you just stay where you are. And for a while, it feels true. You avoid the heartbreak, the rejection, the failure. But here's the lie: comfort isn't safety. Comfort is slow suffocation. Sometimes the safest thing you can do is the most dangerous to your soul. I've shared with people who cling to stability, because what looks like safety in the moment often becomes the very reason you never grow. Let's break down this illusion. The first myth is that comfort means happiness. But happiness doesn't come from ease. It comes from expansion. Think about it. When was the last time you truly felt alive? Was it when you were sitting in your routine, repeating the same day? Or was it when you took a risk, tried something new, loved with your whole heart, even if it scared you? Real joy comes from growth, not stagnation. Comfort can numb you, but it will never fulfill you. The second myth is that stability equals success. We're taught that if we find something steady, a job, a relationship, a routine, we've made it. But stability without passion is just survival. You can have a steady paycheck and still feel empty. You can have a long-term relationship and still feel unloved. You can have a predictable routine and still feel restless. Stability isn't the same as significance. And if you confuse the two, you'll wake up one day realizing you've built a life that looks solid on the outside, but feels hollow on the inside. The third myth is the most dangerous, that playing it safe avoids failure. Comfort tells you, don't try, you won't get hurt. But the truth is, by not trying, you guarantee failure. Failure isn't falling short, it's refusing to step forward. You may think you're avoiding rejection by staying quiet, avoiding heartbreak by not loving again, avoiding risk by not chasing your dream. But in reality, you're only avoiding growth. I once spoke to a man who had the chance to start a business in his 20s. He didn't take it because it felt too risky. Decades later, he was financially stable. But when he looked back, he carried a regret so heavy it broke him. He told me, "Jay, I didn't fail because I tried and lost. I failed because I never tried at all." That's the illusion. Comfort protects you from short-term pain, but it locks you into long-term regret. Failure is just a lesson dressed in pain, I tell people. And lessons are what shape us. By running from failure, You run from the very growth that could set you free. Think about relationships. After a heartbreak, the comfort zone tells you, don't open your heart again. It's safer to stay closed. And yes, staying closed may keep you from being hurt again, but it also keeps you from ever experiencing love again. Comfort keeps you numb, not safe. Think about careers. You stay in the job you hate because it's stable. You tell yourself you'll pursue your passion someday. But each year that passes, someday slips further away. And one day, you realize the safety you chose was actually a trap. And here's the harsh truth. Comfort zones don't just hold you back, they shrink you. The longer you stay, the smaller your courage becomes, the weaker your dreams feel, the more fragile your confidence grows. What once felt like safety eventually becomes a coffin. So, why do we cling to it? Because fear blinds us. Fear makes us believe that stepping into the unknown is dangerous, when in reality, it's the only way to live. The unknown is where growth lives. The unknown is where healing begins. The unknown is where freedom hides. Fear is just excitement without breath. I remind myself, what feels terrifying is often just the edge of transformation. Your body shakes, your heart races, not because you're in danger, but because you're about to step into destiny. But the comfort zone keeps you from realizing this. It says, stay here. At least you know what to expect. And yes, maybe you know what to expect, but is what you expect truly what you want? If predictability costs you your purpose, is it really safety, or is it surrender? Now imagine this, you're standing at a crossroads. One road is smooth, predictable, safe. The other is rocky, uncertain, and unknown. Comfort whispers, choose the smooth road. You won't get hurt. But here's the truth, that smooth road leads to nowhere. You'll walk it for years, only to realize it was a circle that brought you back to the same spot. The rocky road, that's the one that leads somewhere new. Yes, you'll stumble. Yes, you'll fall. But every step forward will take you closer to the life you've been craving. The illusion of safety is the most dangerous trap of all. Because while you're clinging to it, life is moving on without you. Opportunities don't wait. Time doesn't pause. And dreams don't chase you. You have to chase them. So I'll ask you this. How much longer will you let your comfort zone convince you you're safe, when deep down, you know it's keeping you stuck? How many more years will you trade growth for ease, passion for predictability, freedom for fear? Because here's what I promise you. Once you step out, you'll realize the world you feared isn't as dangerous as the cage you left behind. You'll see that discomfort wasn't the enemy, it was the invitation. The invitation to grow, to heal, to thrive. And this brings us to the turning point. If comfort is the prison and safety is the illusion, then what's the path to freedom? The answer is simple, but not easy. You have to step out. You have to embrace the very discomfort you've been running from. And when you do, you'll discover something extraordinary. The discomfort you feared is actually the power that will change your life. But the question is, will you be brave enough to take that first step? There comes a moment when the walls of your comfort zone feel too tight, when the air inside feels heavy, when your soul whispers, you were made for more than this. That moment is your invitation, but most people ignore it. They press snooze, silence the whisper, bury the feeling, and stay where they are. They trade the possibility of greatness for the certainty of comfort. But the truth is, every life worth living has been built by those who dared to step out. Growth begins at the end of your comfort zone. I remind myself every time fear tries to hold me back. Because fear never disappears, you just learn to walk with it. Think about the times in your life when you felt proud of yourself. Was it when you played safe, stayed quiet, chose the easy path? Or was it when you spoke up, took the leap, risked the rejection? That's the paradox. The moments we fear, the most often become the moments that define us. When I chose to walk away from the life everyone expected of me and step into the unknown of becoming a monk, I was terrified. I left behind stability, approval, and everything familiar. But what I gained was purpose, clarity, and a new sense of who I was meant to be. If I had stayed in comfort, you wouldn't be hearing my voice right now. I would still be living a life that wasn't mine. And this isn't just my story, it's yours too. Every time you choose discomfort, you write a new chapter. Every time you risk failure, you invite success. Every time you face pain, you create healing. Stepping out doesn't always mean giant leaps. Sometimes it's the small, daily choices that move you forward. Waking up an hour earlier. Saying no to what drains you. Saying yes to what scares you. Reaching out to someone you've been avoiding. Starting the project you keep postponing. These aren't dramatic decisions, but they're powerful ones, because they shift the trajectory of your life, one uncomfortable step at a time. Small, consistent changes create big transformations, I often say. And the more you practice stepping out, the stronger you become. Courage is a muscle. It grows when you use it. But here's the truth: you will stumble. You will fall. You will face rejection, embarrassment, maybe even heartbreak. And that's okay, because every stumble is strength in disguise. Every failure is feedback. Every heartbreak is a doorway to deeper love. You don't grow in spite of discomfort, you grow because of it. I met a young man who had failed in business 3 times. He told me he was ready to give up because the pain was too much. But I asked him, what did each failure teach you that success never could? He paused, then admitted, it taught me resilience. It taught me creativity. It taught me who I can trust. That's the power of stepping out. You collect wisdom that comfort will never give you. And let's talk about heartbreak. After a breakup, your comfort zone tells you to shut down, to never risk love again. But if you stay in that zone, you never heal, you never open, you never grow. Choosing to love again, despite the fear, despite the scars, is stepping out. And that courage not only heals you, it transforms you. Discomfort is the training ground for destiny. It's where you build the strength to carry the life you're asking for. You say you want success, but success requires rejection. You say you want love, but love requires vulnerability. You say you want freedom, but freedom requires risk. You cannot claim the prize without enduring the process. So how do you start? You start small. Step into conversations you'd usually avoid. Try skills you've been afraid to learn. Confront the truths you've been running from. Every small step weakens the hold of your comfort zone and strengthens the fire inside you. But here's the warning: comfort will fight back. The moment you step out, it will try to pull you in. It will whisper, "This is too hard. Go back." It will remind you of past failures, past heartbreaks, past mistakes. But that voice is not your truth, it's your test. And if you push through it, you'll find something extraordinary on the other side. Don't let the fear of what could go wrong stop you from what could go right. I've said to countless people paralyzed by doubt, because the fear doesn't disappear, it just loses its power when you move anyway. Imagine a life where you no longer let fear dictate your choices. A life where you choose courage over comfort, growth over safety, destiny over distraction. That life is waiting for you, but it's not inside your comfort zone. And here's the most beautiful part. When you step out, you don't just change your own life, You inspire others to change theirs. Courage is contagious. When your friends see you risk, they risk. When your family sees you grow, they grow. When strangers see your story, they find strength in it. By stepping out, you don't just liberate yourself, you liberate everyone who's been waiting for permission to do the same. But this is where many people stumble. They step out once, face resistance, and step back in. They think one leap is enough. But stepping out isn't a one-time event. It's a mindset. It's a commitment to live outside the cage every single day. And that mindset is what we'll uncover next. Because the habit of stepping out is powerful, but without the mindset of growth and freedom, you'll always risk retreating back to comfort. The question is, will you have the courage not just to step out once, but to stay out? Stepping out of your comfort zone is the first step. But staying out, that requires a mindset shift. Because if you walk into discomfort with the wrong perspective, every setback will send you running back to safety. The key isn't just to take the step, it's to change the way you see the journey. The growth mindset begins with this truth: discomfort is not danger, it's development. Most of us confuse the two. Our bodies shake, our hearts race, and we label it as fear. But what if that feeling isn't a warning to stop, but a signal to grow? Fear is not a stop sign, it's a guidepost. I remind myself often. It shows you exactly where you need to go. Think about a seed buried underground. In the darkness, it feels pressure, resistance, and weight. If the seed could think, it might believe it's being crushed. But in reality, it's breaking open so it can rise. That's you. Growth feels uncomfortable because you're breaking through your old self. It's not the end of you, it's the beginning. The mindset of freedom understands that failure isn't final, it's feedback. Comfort zones teach you to avoid mistakes at all costs. But growth teaches you that mistakes are the tuition you pay for wisdom. Every time you fail, you learn what doesn't work, and that brings you closer to what does. Failure is just a lesson dressed in pain. I've shared countless times because pain is not your enemy, it's your teacher. And here's the most important part: freedom comes from embracing the unknown, not controlling it. Inside your comfort zone, you try to predict, plan, and control every outcome. But real life doesn't work that way. The most beautiful experiences, falling in love, discovering a passion, finding your purpose, they all happen in uncertainty. The growth mindset sees the unknown not as something to fear, but as a space where miracles unfold. But let's be honest, it won't always feel good. There will be days when you doubt yourself, when you question why you left the safe path, when you wonder if it's worth it. That's where the freedom mindset becomes your anchor. It reminds you that you didn't choose this path for comfort, you chose it for meaning. And meaning always outweighs ease. Don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life. I tell those who feel stuck. Because repetition without growth is not living, it's existing. The mindset of growth demands that every year, every month, every day, you expand beyond who you were yesterday. Not in giant leaps, but in consistent steps. Now picture this: you wake up 1 year from today. You look back and realize you didn't stay in the cage. You faced the fears. You took the risks. You embraced the unknown. And now you're stronger, freer, and closer to the life you always wanted. That's not a fantasy. That's the reward of choosing growth over comfort, freedom over fear. But the choice is in your hands. You can keep playing safe, clinging to the illusion of security, or you can adopt the mindset that transforms discomfort into destiny. Because comfort will offer you survival, but growth will offer you life. So I'll leave you with this thought: your comfort zone is your cage. Your courage is the key. And when you choose growth, you don't just unlock the door, you set yourself free. The question is, will you live trapped in safety, or will you rise into freedom?